So let's talk about how to become a tax preparer. You don't have to have any special degree or certificate to prepare taxes, but you do have to be registered with the IRS. So you'll have to get a P10 first. That's a preparer tax ID number. Then, if you're not going to work under another accountant to e file your tax returns, you'll need to be an ERO, which is an electronic return originator, and you'll be issued an EFIN, an electronic filing tax ID number or electronic filing identification number. And so the P10 and the ERO are both, the applications are both on the IRS website. The P10, pretty quick to get that, I believe. The ERO takes a little longer. The website says it takes about 45 days. When I did it 20 years ago, it took a while. I had to mail everything in. I think it's all done online now, but I had to go to the police station and get fingerprinted, have the FBI background check. They will also do a credit check and to make sure you're up to date on your tax obligations. So they call it a suitability checklist, just to make sure that the people who are preparing taxes are legitimate people to be preparing taxes. So once you get your P10 and your ERO, also ERO, I think you need an EIN for your business. So if you don't have an EIN, you'll need to get one of those. And again, that can be easily done online, irs.gov. But you'll need that ID number for your business. So once you have those two things, you need to pick a software. And there are a ton of them out there. I use Drake now. In the past, I've used Lacert. I've used OLT Pro, if that's even around anymore. I've used Tax Act Preparers Edition. When you start small, you may start with something like a Tax Act or a TurboTax if they have a Preparer Edition, where you pay for each return that you do. Once you hit a certain number, it will become more cost effective to pay the annual subscription. So just look into your options. Drake is it's considered a more expensive software, but I didn't use that starting out. I used one of the pay per return softwares. So you'll figure out what works for you. Most of them have an option where you can buy one state, or you can buy all states, or you can pay per state. So that if you think you're only going to be, using one state, your clientele is only in your state, then that can be a little bit cheaper. But or you can pay as a customer comes in that has a certain state, you can pay as you go. So just look at your options. But software is very important. It makes a really big difference in the ease of preparation, and also reviewing the tax returns, because if you're going to do this on your own, you have no one to review your returns. So you need to put some kind of check in place where you double check your own work, and then you've got the software to back you up as well, to help find some things that you may not have thought about or may have missed. So P10, EFIN, software, you need to have continuing ed throughout the year. You need to do webinars or study up throughout the year. Stay on top of your of all the tax changes that are going into play throughout the year. You can be part of the annual filing season program with the IRS. I think it's AFSP, annual filing season prepare. I don't know what it stands for, but it's kind of to make you look a little bit more legitimate. You have to do certain number of continuing ed credits to be on that list of registered tax return preparers with the IRS. Well, part of that program, you can be a registered tax return preparer without being part of the AFSP. But I don't even think I'm part of the AFSP now that I think about it. But I do continue net every year. So anyhow, it's very important to do that. Check with your state to see if there are any requirements to register as a return preparer for the state. I'm in Alabama. There's no requirement. They just take the P10 that the IRS issues. I have prepared returns for other states where I've had to go in and register, maybe pay a small fee, and just to be able to e-file the tax return for that state. So check with your state and whichever states you'll be preparing for. You need subscriptions to several different things that will help throughout the year. So you need um, some kind of virtual way to meet with your clients. So Zoom is the one that I use. There's lots of other ones out there, Teams or Skype or something like that. But I use Zoom. You also need a scheduling. You don't have to have a scheduling software. When you get, the more you grow, you're going to want a scheduling software. But I use Calendly for my scheduling. It's like $12 a month or something like that. And they may even have a free version, but you'll need that. You might want to go ahead and sign up for the Intuit Accountant login for QuickBooks, so that's free. QuickBooks is free for accountants. So your clients will invite you to their QuickBooks account so you can log in and see their stuff. So some clients may say, well, you just log in and print out what reports you need. Yes. Or will you log in and do my 1099s and my W-2s? Okay, so but you need to set up the account for the Intuit Accountant version. A secure portal is also important. You don't want clients emailing you things. That's a big no-no. We need a portal to upload files to and to send files to clients. Signatures, you can send all kind of things. I use the one that comes with my software, but there are others out there. TaxDome is one that I've seen. I've never used it. I use Secure File Pro, which is with Drake. So it integrates well with the software. So that's what I use. Drake also has a scheduling portal thing, but I don't even use that. I just use Calendly because I know it. I've used it. I didn't want to change. It was $12. It's not a big deal. Know that going into this field, you're not going to know everything, and nobody knows everything. That's why we have such good resources to look into. So when a client asks you a question, your first reaction should be, it depends, because that's the answer to every tax question is it depends. There are so many variables that go into answering a tax question. Don't be afraid to say, you know what, I don't know about that. Let me check into it and get back with you, because you're not supposed to be, just instant information. Sometimes you need to go research a topic, especially if it's something that doesn't happen very often. Of course, you're going to know things off the top of your head, like how much is a child tax credit this year, or what's the limit for earned income credit, or something like that. Sure, you'll know those. But someone walks in or calls you and is asking about an installment sale purchase or some kind of like a like-kind exchange or something that you don't deal with a whole lot, you may need to do some research on it. So don't be afraid to not know everything, but do your research. Don't answer a question unless you know that it's the right answer. So you can always say, hey, you know what, I don't know about that, but let me look into it and I'll get back with you. And then follow up. Don't forget to do that, because hey, I've been guilty before. I've had clients text me, hey, did you get my email? Oh yeah, I did. And I looked into it and I've come back. Have good customer service. Have a heart of a teacher. You're going to have to explain things to people that, they're not familiar with. So, be humble, be ready to do some research, be a people person, be approachable, and be able to be contacted, be accessible to your clients. So just take it slow. Don't expect to have 300 clients your first year. You may, but I don't know that I'd recommend that. But get a system in place. Have your checklist, your to-do list. Be organized. You've got this. You can do it. You can send me a message if you have any questions. If you're one of my students, you can reach out through the school. So good luck as you start your journey as a tax preparer.